Good evening. Here we are at Catholic Missions in Canada for our virtual wine tasting. We welcome all of our patrons with us tonight, and we look forward to the tasting of these two unique wines and some presentation on Catholic Missions in Canada. With me is my Stewardship Officer, Joe Gennaro. Joe likes to speak sometimes. Sometimes I have to put my hand up his back and move its mouth like this. Joe, why don't you say something?
Yeah, well, your arm's not long enough today, so I'm going to do it on my own. So welcome back to our virtual wine tasting. We haven't done this in a couple of years. As you may know, before COVID, we used to have a fundraising gala here in Toronto. And COVID gave us the experience of wine tasting virtually. So we reached out, and we had a couple of these during the COVID years. Last year we didn't because we went back to a live event. But we seem to be missing something. We seem to be missing the participation of the rest of the country. And tonight we're going to have that. Between us here in Toronto, we're being you're being represented by every province in Canada, including each territory. So welcome back, and we look forward to having you, and we look forward to doing this in continued years to come. If
you're new to this, or maybe new to Catholic Missions in Canada, we are a charity that exists to raise funds, to create awareness, and to give education about mission areas within the boundaries of Canada. In our fundraising, Canadian dollars stay in Canada, helping fellow Canadian Catholics. So we come to you tonight to present some information with a little bit of entertainment.
So, if you recall, the last virtual wine tasting we had a draw for a couple of Father's charcuterie boards. There we go.
This one's kind of interesting because a pastor in the area was trying to get rid of some old pews and was not successful. So he gave them to me, and I cut them up, and underneath the varnish and stain, I found beautiful white oak. And from the age of the church, these pews are probably 80 to 100 years old, meaning that the trees would probably add another 100 years onto that. So it's very old oak and very beautiful. So we're going to kind of add a bit of fun to the contest. Joe, you want to talk about that?
Well, you see that I'm wearing a bow tie. So the winners of these charcuterie boards are going to be the first two people to email us and guess as to whether this tie is a clip-on or whether it's an actual tied bow tie. So the first
people to put them in the chat.
So there's a chat box on the YouTube,
right.
Is that right?
Yeah, so there's a chat box. Just enter your decisions, your guesses in that chat box, and we'll announce the winner later on in the evening.
Is it real or is it fake?
Well, there we go. So, are we ready to start dipping into the wine?
Let's get to it.
Okay. Well, this year we've partnered with Black Hills Estate Winery in the Okanagan out in British Columbia. And we have with us today Brett White. He's the assistant manager at the Black Hills Estate Winery. Brett is an experienced professional with a diverse background spanning over 15 years in construction management. Doesn't sound like a wine guy to me yet. In 2022, Brett expanded his skill by working a harvest, diving into the agricultural and winemaking industry. Today, Brett serves as the assistant managers at Black Hills Winery, where he combines expertise in leadership, project management, and a newfound passion for viticulture to contribute to the winery's success. Brett, take it away.
All right, thanks, Joe. Well, welcome everybody. Yeah, like Joe was saying, I'm pretty new to the wine world. I'm about 3 years career span in the wine world now, but absolutely love it. Especially where I'm working right now, Black Hills. They're making just amazing wine. They want to go fully estate grown going forward. So yeah, we are as far south in the Okanagan as you could get. We are on the Black Sage bench, so it gets extreme summer heat here. You also get that afternoon sun, so it's just a beautiful terroir here. It's all sandy loam, and we grow the big reds down here. So the Cab Sauves, the Syrahs, the Petit Verdot's, Cab Francs, and yeah, we're known for it. So, but yeah, we're also known for whites too. So this first one today is pretty special. It's the Rhone varietal that loves heat as well. So that's why we're growing it down south. So it is estate grown Viognier. So 2021, also a phenomenal year for heat. That was the year of the heat dome on the West Coast. So anybody from the West Coast out there might remember that. It was temperatures reaching 51 degrees Celsius in Vesuvius, where we're located. So it was really, really hot spring. We actually harvested this Viognier 21 days earlier than we usually do. So just shows you how hot that summer was. And yeah, it's a beautiful thick-skinned grape, a lot of stone fruit on it, and it's going to work really well with this the salmon pate we have paired with it. So if you yeah, if we want to get into it here, it's give it some air in the glass and put your nose right in there. Ton of stone fruit, like a peach apricot, and this is aged stainless steel ferment. And then moved into concrete actually for the 6-month period here. So our winemakers are really big into concrete with all our white wines here. So just gives you that texture and structure of oak wood just without any of that oak interference. So you need to really nail this Viognier. So let's go back and forth, put that on your palate, and pair it with that salmon pate. It's going to work really, really lovely. So. Just creamy texture, long finish, and yeah, one of the few wineries working with this varietal in the south here, and I think he did a really good job on this one. Yeah. And if anybody has any questions or for me, just let me know, and I could try my best to answer those. Mhm. Yes. Yeah, so there's the corkscrew, or sorry, the screw cap technology has really improved over the last 15 years. So there's a company out of Austria called Stelvin, and that's what we generically use for all our screw cap wines. So you usually see on cheaper wines, but a lot of bigger name wineries, even in Bordeaux and France, they're starting to use all this Stelvin and screw cap technology. So yeah, that's why you're seeing it on that Bona Fide we're going to try next year.
Questions from out there, Adam?
Not yet, no.
No questions from out there. Guys, stop drinking, ask a couple of questions.
You do have a lot of people.
Yeah, no, we've been established since 1999, so we've been working with our property in the vines for since '99. We're known for a wine called the Nota Bene, so that is it's a Bordeaux red blend. It changes every year depending on the growing season, but our claim to fame is we released our 2006 vintage Nota Bene, and it sold out in 47 minutes. So it's a wine we're known for.
Not sure if you mentioned anything about the wildfires. Did
Yeah,
that
so
affect any of your
that
stock?
was this year. This was 2021. So it was it was a heat dome over the west coast that put a lot of smoke in the South Okanagan, and this is a thicker skin varietal, so it didn't really show in this wine. So anything with a thinner skin like a Pinot Noir, that'll really show smoke. So this one did okay. It's still showing beautifully, and ton of stone fruit on it. So enjoy, guys.
Yeah, I'm finding that the white is quite smooth. There's not that that little bite you get at the end of a sip sometimes with certain whites, like a Vidal or. Listen to me talking wines.
You're Italian. It's very.
Yeah.
Very smooth, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
We
Yeah,
have
we
have somebody asking.
Oh, sorry.
Brett, can we buy your wines in the LCBO?
So there's two you'd probably find in the LCBO, and that would be our Nota Bene and our Rosé that we are officially sold out of now. So you might find the Bona Fide, which you're going to be trying next, in certain specialty liquor stores, but that's it. It's pretty much just sales right out of our winery, and we have about 13 wines right now in our winery. So
Across the country?
we are, yeah. So our club membership, we have 2,500, sorry, club members that we ship free all across Canada, so all the way to Quebec and Newfoundland. So it's a really nice perk with a wine club.
A couple other questions coming in here, Brett. Just how cold should this wine be served? And
So we serve our whites at 39 Fahrenheit. You could go even a little lower with this one, but the flavors really come out when it warms up. So as you're probably sipping on it, the third, fourth sip, you're probably noticing a lot more stone fruit, which I'm getting right now in the glass. So how do you feel about the pairing?
there's also a
Really.
question, what other foods pair well with this wine?
So any like lighter, not super fatty dishes will work really well with this. So it's a really pairable wine. Roast chicken will work excellent. Pork dish will work perfectly for this too. So that's the beautiful thing about Viognier. It works really well with food.
And how do you join the club?
So it is 3 shipments of 6 bottles, and it's usually our new releases, but it's completely customizable too. So if you didn't like one of the releases that were in your club pack, you could completely switch that out with a certain one you were interested in.
But how do you sign up to get to become a part of the club?
You could email me or info@blackhillswinery.com, or even just sign up online. We also have 4 wines that are club member exclusive now too. So we have a Syrah Carmenere Tempranillo, which is very rare for the Valley, and we have a Rhone Valley blend coming out this spring that's going to be club member exclusive too.
A bit of sourness on the finish.
Yes.
Is that just, that's not just me?
Nope, that's very common for Viognier. But it's a long finish, isn't it? It goes all the way back to the back of your throat. which that represents a really good wine if it's going back that far and the flavor lasts that long. So they did a good job on this one.
Another question coming in: is there any food that you would not pair with this wine?
I wouldn't pair a fatty dish. I wouldn't pair any like rib, roast beef or ribeye steak or any fatty dish. I would just stay away from with this wine.
What makes it a sour finish?
It's just the varietal. Most Viogniers I've tried have that finish, and I like it. Some people don't. Viognier is known kind of for if you love red wines, it's kind of the red lover's white wine. So it has very similar characteristics for sure. So
Proper protocol to pour yourself another glass right now if you like it, because I
Yes.
finished mine.
I'd say get in there, Joe.
How was the pate?
It was fine. Do you have anything to say about the pate and the crackers that were provided?
It's a new product we brought in the winery. It's from the West Coast, wild sockeye salmon here. We are just going to be putting in the retail shop, so we are actually going to be recommending this pairing actually in the future here. So yeah, it was nice. It's nice to try it in person with you guys actually.
I think it's fine. I like it myself.
Yeah,
And
not too fatty, and it really works with the acidity, I believe.
Did you? I have to ask him. I don't know for sure. Did you provide the rosemary crackers with
Yeah.
so everybody got the same one?
Exactly. Yep.
Rosemary. I personally like it very much. So.
Me too. Yeah.
I think it's a good combo.
And you were saying you saw in the grocery store today too. So
I saw it at a local grocery store, and but I noticed it's made out west, out in Washington State, so not too far from you.
not too far. No. It's we're about 10 minutes away from the border here. So yeah, right on the Washington State side here.
Got another couple questions coming in here, Brett. Someone asked, is there a vegan pairing you would suggest?
Oh, good question. I mean, I the season right now, squash. I think a squash salad works really well with this, even roasted squash. Again, anything not super heavy and fatty would work amazing with this.
And a couple more. Someone asks, what are the stone fruits that are blended?
So there actually is no stone fruit in the wine, but that's a tasting note, I guess. So everybody has a different palate and nose. So I get a lot of peach, I get a lot of stone fruit, being apricot as well too, very common for Viognier.
And somebody asks, hand-picked or machine?
So this is all hand-picked. Yeah, we are very low intervention at Black Hills. We're organically farmed. Our winemakers pushed organic farming for the last 5 years here. So our whole estate vineyard is organically farmed. Hand-picked, hand-pressed, and whole berry as well too. So they do a really long, gentle press cycle on all our varietals too. So about a 12-hour press cycle, which is really uncommon for this valley. So it really smooths the tannins. It really brings out the fruit flavors.
How long would you want to keep a bottle for?
Depending on the varietal, the Viognier will last 5 years easily. Our Nota Bene, which is what we're known for, our Bordeaux blend, is 25 plus years. So pretty impressive for a New World wine to be aging that way.
Somebody asks, what cheeses would pair best?
I would say a Gouda, like Manchego, any softer kind of rind would pair excellent with this. even like a triple cream brie, like pretty much any cheese with this wine. I'd stay away from blue. Anything stinky, I'd probably stay away from. But yeah, any softer cheese would work really well with this.
Good. Just,
Yep.
sorry, you were going to say, Brett?
Oh no, go ahead, Joe.
I was just going to say that if you're interested in gifting anybody this particular wine package for Christmas, you can order it on our website, and we'll make sure that Brett knows about it and has it to your under the Christmas tree before the 24th of December.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, the even if you don't want to subscribe to a club membership, we do free shipping on case orders. So if you wanted to order 12 bottles, free shipping everywhere in Canada. So it's a really nice perk with the winery.
Construction guy, eh, Father?
Pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty
Impressed.
No. Yeah, the real passion's wine, I'd say. So now, construction, I fell out of love with. So.
We move along here to our next presentation. Father?
So this past weekend, I flew to Sudbury in Ontario in order to go to Espanola, which is fairly close to Manitoulin Island. If you're looking at an atlas of Lake Huron, at the top north end, you'll see Manitoulin Island, and just as you go on to the mainland will be Espanola. And there is the Anishinaabe Spiritual Center, which Catholic Missions in Canada has been supporting for many years, closing in now to probably close to $1 million over the time to support that center. They have a new director, Edwina or Eddie McDonald, who is a former parishioner of mine from Acton, was hired to take over the center. And Eddie is a proud member of the Mishipiktoten First Nation. I probably said that wrong. She grew up in the Sioux. She is a spiritual director trained in the Carmelite tradition and was a pastoral minister in the Diocese of Hamilton, where I'm from. She did that for 14 years. She is a mother of 4 young men who she must now look up to. She and her husband, Mark, ran a treatment home for Halton Children's Aid Society for youth with challenges for 25 years. And they have 4 beautiful grandchildren through their foster daughter. Mark recently retired and currently is going to be moving up to Espanola to support Eddie in what she describes as her dream job. She's written many articles for the Bread of Life magazine and is currently writing her mother's story through poetry. So I went up and did a bit of filming, and she and Rosella, who is the chair of her board, are now going to tell us about the center.
Anishinaabe Spiritual Center began about 40 years ago in partnership with Indigenous peoples of this area and the Jesuits who had been coming up. They built the cabins, this beautiful structure. Many Indigenous peoples who worked here volunteered their time, cut the wood down, formed it, built it, and it was specifically for the diocesan order of service.
Bishop Carter was the one that was involved. At that time, like we were told, all our native stuff was evil, But for him to come up with this vision, saying he wanted this center where they could train men, I guess, to be deacons, to bring back our culture into here.
As time went on, there wasn't as many men that were serving those parishes, and so they recognized that women were very active in serving the parishes.
And those were the wives of the deacons that came through the program. So those women also had to take in the program.
Much like the deacons and deacons' wives do now, in different dioceses. They meet here, and it's like a training ground. And if they've already been through the program, it's a 4-year program. If they've already been through the program, then it's a kind of renewal, just reminder, building on their skill and their knowledge, and it's about bringing people together who do the work to give them a place where they can share their experience, get support, and go back out and do it again. Right now, there's about 7 churches that are on Indian land that need to that get supported. There's so many more that haven't yet been done. So we want to be able to outreach to those places way up north, where the minister or priest doesn't come in for months. And it was a terrible story. Like people have to leave their dead outside waiting for a priest to come for funerals.
Sometimes now, the thing is, we have so many deaths in the community, we're running out of manpower, I'll put it that way, And so it's all the women that are doing the wake services, And because I do the reflections at the wake services, and Father Paul's the only other one, if there's 2 wakes going on at the same time, we have to split. He goes to one and I go to the other one, and then there's a second wake, then we switch and I do the other one, and he comes and does this one. But we're training now new people to start helping, so I don't have to be at the opening prayers all the time like somebody else in that community. Once they start learning how to do it, okay, you do it.
With this particular program, the DOS can do that funeral. So help with that wake, can prepare. So there's just so many things that can bring Jesus, the communion, when there's no priest. If we don't have the leaders and we don't have the training, then we don't know. Then there's areas where the faith will die.
So as you can see, they're doing very good work there. They're in a time of transition, however. The Jesuits, who have been sponsoring the center for a long time, are restructuring, and unfortunately they announced that they are going to sell the center. So Eddie is now in the process with Rosella to try and find a buyer or buyers so that the center can continue. In the evening when I was with them, we kind of did a think tank session. I could share some of my own experiences, and it's a great place to bring high school students for retreats. Or parish groups. I suggested that she get into the local parishes to talk it up, but also to get into the school boards of Ontario so that they can become aware of the resources that they have there. Plus, also going into the future, it might be an idea to make it into a center of excellence for spiritual direction, for retreats and other things. So the DOS, or Diocesan Order of Service, will continue, but it can be used for other things. And this is something that Eddie and Rosella and their board are going to have to continue. Catholic Missions in Canada will also continue to support them through Bishop Dodd of the Sault Ste. Marie Diocese. So I think we're going to move back to Brett and taste the red.
Absolutely. I think he just introduced you, Brett, so
Hey, I'm back.
go ahead and, first, thank you, Eddie. I got a chance to meet her in Sudbury at the Ontario Provincial CWL conference. It was a pleasure meeting you, and thank you for helping us with your presentation. Go ahead, Brett.
All right. Well, yeah, we're going to switch gears over some red here. So this is actually our cheapest red in our lineup, but it is mighty. It's took home a platinum award at the Wine Line Awards this year. So we put this in the Wine Line Awards. Sorry, I'll just backpedal here. The Wine Line Awards is a wine competition, which is every single winery in Canada enters their wine. We entered this in a red blend category. So I was up against $120 red blends. This $30 red blend won the best red blend in Canada this year. So we're really proud of this one. Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, it's probably our most popular seller since it won that award, especially at that price point. It's batting way above that price point, I feel. So yeah, this is estate fruit again. We take our Malbec actually from Soyuz, so a little further south. But yeah, Malbec forward at 42%. Then we move into Carmenere at 33%. And then we finish off with 25% Syrah. So big, bold, jammy red does 10-year aging potential, at least. This 22-year was a really cold start. And unlike 21, we had extreme heat in 21 to start off the year, growing season. And then we had this 22, which is a really late start. So our bud break happened 3 weeks later than average, 22. We were saved by a really long finish on 22. So we had 20 averages at 25 degrees Celsius all the way to Halloween that year. So we were able to get the ripeness in all our red varietals here. So yeah, 10 months in concrete again. So this is our only red that spends time in concrete. And it's really smooth tannin, super vibrant. I get a lot of blackberry, plum on the nose, and it pairs really well with any fatty dishes. Steak will work really well, roast will work really well with this, and any game actually will work perfect with this. So yeah, give it some air and get your nose in there. It's actually going to pair really well with this chocolate too. I haven't even tried this yet, so I'm excited to give it a shot. Yeah, so we have a chocolate from Grand Forks, so really close to us, about an hour and a half away east of us, right along the border as well. But it's a really awesome family. The husband does all the marketing, packaging, and the wife actually makes the chocolate. So they come hand deliver it to us from Grand Forks, and they do a really nice job. So I'm really excited to try this pairing with you guys. Let's get into it.
Concrete. Can you articulate on that?
Yeah, so it's really popular in North America now. It's been popular in Europe for quite some time, but it's an egg shape usually. Sometimes it's a square, but the lees, which is the dead yeast cells, stay elevated in that tank, so they're constantly circulating in that tank. So you don't have to get involved in the aging process whatsoever. By batonnage, by stirring the lees, it's automatically doing that because of the egg shape. So it's become quite popular, and it doesn't add any oak influence in the wine. So kind of lets the grape speak for itself, which is nice.
Lime leaching into the wine.
Nope. No, they're beautiful too. So if you ever Google concrete eggs, a lot of them are made in France and Italy. There's actually some wineries in that region using their own terroir in the concrete mix, so you're getting kind of a double expression of the terroir, which is kind of cool too. So, and yeah, like I was saying, becoming really popular in North America. There's a winery north of us called Haywire that is the largest concrete produced winery in North America now. So that's how popular it's getting.
The juice. Do you crush the grapes of the different varietals together, or do you mix the juices?
Most winemakers choose to blend after they've crushed because that's a kind of a risky experiment. Otherwise, usually, whenever a red varietal's picked, it's usually picked a week after each other. The Cab Sauv will be picked the last by far. The Syrah will probably be the second last. So if you're trying to blend, you want it to be right in that same crush period, which is a challenge and usually never works. So usually blend the juice afterwards. But yeah, I think you did a great job on this blend. Works so well together. The Malbec really shines through, and Malbec's a beautiful pairing wine as well. So that's why this wine will work with a lot of dishes as well.
Design of the blend?
I did not know. No, I am somewhat new at Black Hills. I've only been here since April, but I'm trying to get more involved in the marketing side of it, which is kind of fun and it's kind of up my alley. So I really like what they did with this bottle glow. It really pops.
Yeah. Do we have any questions from out there, Adam?
Yeah, we do. Somebody asks, do ideal wine pairings bring out flavors in the wine/food, or is it just that they're supposed to be complementary?
I would say, but mostly just to be complimentary, but a really good pairing always really stands out with me. So I remember my 5 favorite pairings I've ever done in my life, and it just brings you back to that exact moment in time, and that's the coolest part I think about wine and a good pairing.
How do you store the crushed grapes while you wait for the harvest of the next in line?
So the crushed grapes will stay in tank until pressed off, and then they will either dispose of those grapes in the land in the compost, or they will use them in a secondary use. So they will actually add water and sugar into them and make a pet nat. So yeah, it was kind of an old technique done by the field workers back in France. So they would repurpose the grape skins after use, the first use. So it would be a secondary use, just a lighter alcohol and more not fruit forward, but they would still get their alcohol buzz off it, I guess.
What else you got, Adam?
This is kind of 2-in-1.
I like this
How much is a bottle? I guess you could say, Brett, how much a bottle of the white and the red is, and then
So yeah, our Viognier on your left there, or my left, I should say, is $35 Canadian. Then our Bona Fide, our cheapest wine in the lineup, actually, is $30. So pretty incredible for $30, I find.
Okay, and is the red available to order?
It is. I just tried the tank sample of the 23 this morning, actually, and it might even be better than this 22. So I'm really excited to release that.
And somebody asked, do you guys sell the chocolate as well with your wine?
We do, yeah. Out of our retail, out of our wine shop, we do.
Well, opposites attract. I am very partial to milk chocolate. My wife is extremely partial to dark chocolate, but I gotta say that, and we often fight because if I come home with just milk chocolate, she lets me know it. But I gotta tell you, both of them are very good, in my opinion. The pumpkin spice is very subtle, but it's delicious. Excuse me, Adam his mouth is watering here. You probably just saw his hand reach across the table. So sorry, Adam.
Adam Helmers is our IT guy and video. Adam, why don't you come over here so people can see what your face looks like? Adam just had his third baby along with his wife, Sarah.
Shout out to Evangeline.
Yes. Speaking of shout-outs, I like to toast to my brother and sister-in-law, Peter and Christine, because it was on their recommendation that we go with Black Hills, who agreed to be part of this venture. Also to my sister Stephanie, who actually is the editor of our magazine, and to her husband Alan. They are wine connoisseurs and have helped us choose wines for the last
Three times, yep.
3 years.
All
So
three times.
shouts out to them.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
Somebody is asking if there are, or what other flavors of chocolate are available from the Lucky Pheasant.
Well, we have, it's right beside me actually right now. We have a hazelnut. We have a crema latte. We have a s'mores bar, which is my kid's favorite. And we have the salty peanut as well. And then there's apparently Christmas flavors they're bringing in right now too. So yeah, I really like what they're doing. They're doing a really good job.
Syrah.
Yes, only 25%, but it's
there.
It's there.
Yeah.
You got a good nose for all there. How do you guys feel about this one?
I'm good.
It's getting better as time goes on in the glass.
Yeah.
How long?
This one, this is kind of a drink fresh, drink young. But you could also hold this for 10 years. But I like to put a little chill on it. I put it 5 minutes in the fridge, 10 minutes in the fridge before I open it, and it does open up as it gets warmer. But it's lovely for $30, I find.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
Do you store the red in the fridge, Brett?
Just for 5 to 10 minutes before I open it. Just the Bona Fide. None of our other reds need any chill time.
But after it's open, they can just leave that out, right?
Yeah, you could just leave it on the counter.
Wines. How do you clarify the wine?
Sorry?
No wine diamonds. How do you clarify the wine?
Oh, so they do a filtration process. So some of our wines are unfined and filtered. This one is not. So it's a process where a second company will come in and filter out sediment and all that stuff you probably don't want to be drinking at the bottom of your glass. So yeah, there's a secondary company that would do that for us. It's actually a giant semi truck that comes in, and it's multiple filters and a pump system. So it'll just run through that and go back into the tank, and then we'll just bottle it right after that.
Will that add any oxidation to the process?
No, it's very low intervention, so it's a very gentle process, and there's only about 2 or 3 companies in the Okanagan that actually do this process, and they do a really good job of it. So.
Is it growing on you?
No, I took to it really quickly. It was fine from the get-go.
Your beard is growing, I can tell that.
Shh. Don't tell my parents, because they don't like it when I start growing my winter dog walking beard. So keep it hush hush.
Well, I happen to be of the opinion of your father.
Okay,
We
Dad.
won't say any more about that at all.
Somebody asks, Brett, how many bottles in total of all your wines do you produce per year on average?
On average, we were about 10,000 cases, but 23 was a very low production for us, which we're about to bottle. 24, we actually didn't get any estate fruit. So we are going south of the border for our estate fruit. We had a really cold winter snap in February this year. That was -25 for about a week-long period, and our southern France varietals didn't like that at all. So a lot of them didn't produce buds for us. So 24 will not be a harvest for us, unfortunately.
Where does your rootstock come from?
So most of it came from France. Actually, a little section of our estate we imported 15 years ago, and it came with a virus. So it was giving us less and less yield every year, and we decided to rip those 3 years ago. So we just replanted that section in our home vineyard. But we just use Napa Valley. So there's a company that stores the vines for a month, so they're disease-free. We import them up here. They just truck them in. So yeah, we just replanted our home vineyard here, or half of it, I should say.
Cold does it get in the winter?
It usually hovers around, 10 degrees to -10. But the last 2 years, we've had polar vortexes come down from the Arctic, and it was about a -25 for a week-long period. And without any snow insulation, the vines is not like that. So that's it really hit us in 23 with a low harvest, and then 24 we didn't produce anything. So that's the story in most of the Okanagan this year. So there's not going to be a lot of BC wine this year, unfortunately.
You can't.
Ontario had a bumper crop, though, I heard. So you guys did okay.
You can't cover the roots.
So we're trying new winter techniques this year. So we have straw bedding on all our babies right now. So we're hoping that gives you the added extra insulation throughout the winter here, and they could survive. So when they're babies, they're a little more prone to winter death. And we're trying a couple new techniques out, and hopefully they produce fruit for us in 4 years. So
Because of the weather, so does that mean there's no 2024 year wines?
So we actually got our fruit from Walla Walla, Washington, which is 4 hours south of us. Yakima as well, so that's about 2 hours south of us, and then Hood River, Oregon. So that's probably 4 hours south of us as well. So we're getting a fruit from Washington this year. We're going to make it on BC. So it's the first we've ever done this in Black Hills history. But we want to keep our club members happy with some good quality fruit. They were pretty blown away with the fruit quality this year.
If you're an organic winery, does that mean your wines have no sulfites?
Very low sulfites, yes. Probably 20 parts per milligram on average, which is very low.
What's typical?
Typical, you could see there's some larger producers mass scale or up to the hundreds, which is that'll give you a really good big headache. So we don't want to do that. We low intervention, very low sulfites, and organic practices, which is really nice to see, and regenerative farming, which is really nice to see too.
Adam, if you got one more question, let's take it.
No more questions, but there's a lot of compliments, Brett. People are really enjoying the wines. A lot of people.
Oh, thanks very much, guys.
A lot of
I mean,
people
I didn't make them personally, but I think the winemaker did a really nice job on them.
Some people say that they don't normally drink a red or a white, and they're enjoying vice versa. So that's good.
Oh, great. Glad to hear it, guys.
Congratulations, Brett. I'd like to
Hey,
thank Brett very much for all he's done. I learned a little bit about BC wines today. I'm not very familiar with them, I must confess, but thank you for letting us know about it.
Oh no, my pleasure, guys. And then, look, I'm glad you guys included us in this. This is fun.
We appreciate the winery coming to join us in the venture.
Yes. Well,
Cheers.
Anytime.
Cheers to Brett.
Cheers.
Cheers to Brett.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Brett. So with this comes raffle time. Again, I must confess, my son-in-law was the first to write in with the correct answer, but I don't think we should allow that. what do you call that? Nepotism?
Conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest, yeah. Sorry, Eric, but you're out of luck. So, the right answer is, and I'll do my best interpretation of Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin, and yeah, it's a real one. So the winners of the two charcuterie boards are Douglas Barland and Bruce Weicker. Congratulations, guys. We'll have these in the mail for you in a couple of days.
So one is a combination of mahogany and oak. And as I said, the other, please don't think of people sitting on this when you use it for your, actually, they can also be used as cutting boards. They're waxed, oiled and waxed, so it can be charcuterie, breadboard, or cutting board. Store them like this so that they don't warp, and every 3 months wipe them off and cover them in mineral oil only because it doesn't go rancid, and wipe it off in the morning and you'll keep your board fresh.
Well, thank you, Father.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. So a couple of more things. So in your package, in your wine package, you received an envelope full of information. One of the things that we've discovered, or at least that I've discovered since I've been with Catholic Missions since 2019, is that Catholic Missions in Canada is one of the country's best kept secrets. A lot of people don't know us. A lot of people don't know what we do. And I think it's a shame. It's a crying shame, because our organization, I've learned, does a lot of good across the country. And we need your help. We need your help to evangelize. We need your help to spread the word. So I suspect that all of you have received already a lot of the materials that you see that Father is setting up before you. And what we'd like you to do is to take the magazine, take the calendar, take the prayer cards, and pass them along to people who might be interested in Catholic missions in Canada. We need to spread the word. We can do more, but we need your help. And there is a lot of need out there right across this country, as Father likes to say, from sea to shining sea.
I don't say shining sea.
You don't say shining sea? Okay. No. I added that in. Do I get a cut on the action if I say shining sea? Or
you got a kick into something, right, maybe?
Yeah. Okay. What we also have is these pins, and I'm sure we've passed these pins around many times. There are Catholic Missions in Canada pins, and they also, and in your package it comes with a free subscription applications to our magazine, which comes out quarterly. And we thought maybe if you could fill in the names of a person who might be interested in getting the magazine. Like I said, it's a free subscription, and it might be a good little Christmas gift. We have a lot of information there, and hopefully it's a good way of spreading the news. We really, like we said, we really, really need help in getting our word or our mission across to every Catholic in Canada. Okay? Thank you for your help in advance. And I know that a lot of you people are watching tonight are not from the Toronto area and from all over our fair nation. Like I said before, every year we have a live gala. This year's live gala, or this year. Time is passing quickly. Next year's live gala is on May the 8th, and it's at a place called the Bellevue Manor, just north of Toronto, and it promises to be a fun affair. So if you happen, you want to join us and be with us. Our theme will be, dare I say, and I mentioned it earlier, hopefully we're going to have a little Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra Rat Pack theme to it, and Father and Adam just found out about it. So think about joining us. And as we mentioned before, the packages that you received for this event are available also for Christmas gifts. So if you want to order them, Adam will have them on our website so you can continue to order them. And like I said before, Brett will make sure they're under the Christmas tree in plenty of time. Father? And
if anyone is in the Whitehorse area this weekend, I will be cooking 80 pounds of prime rib along with Yorkshire pudding, potatoes, carrots, Caesar salad, and CWL pies for the Knights of Columbus Ball at the Sacred Heart Cathedral Hall on Saturday night.
okay, may I ask for a favor? Please? If those CWL members happen to cook a Saskatoon berry pie, can you bring it back for me?
Well, Joe, Saskatoon is a long way from Whitehorse.
But that's the first place I had a Saskatoon berry pie.
But now, maybe the ladies got some low bush cranberries
I'll take it.
and mix them up with something else. I might be able to do that.
I'll take it.
Sadly, there probably won't be any time to go fishing. But I did do some fishing in Espanola. I got about 10 casts off before the rain started, but there wasn't a bite. But they tell me there's pickerel in the lake. I've got to go back to Espanola.
Sounds good.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I had fun. Did you have fun?
I had lots of fun. Father, perhaps you can give us a closing prayer, especially those and safe travel to all of those who will be traveling after tonight. I know you had a little bit of wine, so just make sure you take it easy.
Yes, and Adam has a 2.5-hour drive back to his 3 children and his wife Sarah. So in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of our missionaries and of the people in our missions, and for the sponsors and participants who joined us tonight to become aware of the spread of the gospel in Canada. Grant us your Holy Spirit that the church may continue in remote Canada. We ask our prayer through the intercession of St. Philip Neri. And we ask God's blessing upon you, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Eddie. And thank you for everybody who's joined us.
And thank you, Adam, for making it happen.
Absolutely.
Thanks.